Hello, my name is Bill McBecken, and this video covers the Context Manager used in setting up your courses in MyCC. Context Manager is found after the list of pages that you're using in your particular course. There's a set of pages that come with every course that are created when it is implemented from Genzabar. At the bottom, you'll always find this term called Context Manager. And Context Manager allows you to control who has access to the pages and what people can do in the system. So this session is going to talk about Context Manager. My recommendation is you always finish up after you configure your course by going in as the last step to Context Manager, and I'll click on that and we'll go ahead and see what that does for us. So the Context Manager opens up to 5 little tabs. One of them is an export, properties tab, page tab, subsection, and permissions. Properties. This is the name of the course that came from Genzabar. Sometimes because of how it's transferred over, it gets jammed up or has an error in it that you want to correct. You can go ahead and correct it right there. You notice that I like to put my name and the semester. So this is a 2012 fall of 2012 course taught by me. So you can adjust that in your course if you want to. The pages controls which pages the students will see or which pages are in your course. At any point in time you can add a new page. So for instance, if I wanted a page to put videos on, I just click add new page. And I put my video clips on there, and you can see that appears down here at the bottom. Subsections you probably won't use, but you might. If you get a website that happens to have a lot of materials on it, you may want to organize it by subsection. A subsection basically allows you to put additional folders into your course, and each subsection has its own context, which means it can have its own members. So you could set up a group of people within your course if you had a lot of students. That's how you would use subsections. You don't have to use them, and a lot of the courses do not use them currently, but it's a capability that's there. But the important one here is permissions. The permissions portion of this has several features that we need to talk about. First of all, if you have someone sitting in a class that is a non-registered student in Genzabar, say they're making up an incomplete, or perhaps if you have 3 or 4 sections that have parent-daughter relationships, you may not want to have everybody show up in a separate instance of MyCC, in other words, separate courses. So you can take and put all of your students in here together. So I'm going to click on add additional students and just show you how that works. So if I had a student that I wanted to add to this one, I would call them add a non-registered student. All the rest of the students are on the roster officially, except for these non-roster students. And they have to be an individual that has access to MyCC and a login. But so if I wanted to add a student to this particular class, I just typed her last name and put my wife in here, my bride Patricia, and so now I see I have one selected user, and I hit save. And now I have a non-roster student, which at any point in time I can remove from access. If that particular student has grades associated with him, it'll actually save those off, and I'll see that it's a removed student that actually had a grade or turned in some submission to me. But let's go back to the permissions screen here. Now, when I do add that non-roster student, that student gets the link put on their quick links, and they act and behave exactly as every other student does in this course. So from a point of view of managing your course, you'll be able to enter grades for them. into the course gradebook, but of course you can't enter it into the registrar's gradebook because the registrar is unaware of them. So permissions. The faculty permissions and student permissions are passed directly from Genzabar. The initial assumption is that they have access to everything. I have video clips here. I have to decide if the students are going to see that or not. So to make it visible, I check that off. Maybe I don't want them to see the printable syllabus I've created if I'm not using gradebook, or don't want them to see the attendance port pages. I can click those off and just have the list of pages that they're going to see. Now, the bottom half of this talks about global permissions. My recommendation is you don't make adjustments to this global permissions. Basically, they're set up so that the LMS administrator can get access and help you out with your course, but they are also not the kind of thing you want to just check off. If you were to check off thing for users, that means every user could get in here. So we typically say stay out of the bottom half of that and you're going to be okay. Also, if I wanted to add a role for a TA, I can click on add a role, and I make that role my TA. I might need to have Dr. Melio help me out in the course, so see if I can find him here. So here he is. I add him to the role, and I go to the bottom and hit save. And you can see I have a new role called TA. Now, that TA can't see any of these pages right now. I didn't do a save of these other pages for my students. So I fix the students. I'm going to just check off the TA is allowed to do everything. He can help administer the course for me. And I go to the bottom and hit save. And once I've done that, I'm ready to go back to my course. So now I'm back at the course syllabus here. And if I were to check and see what happened, I would find that Dr. Melio is now showing up as a TA in the course. So that means I can email him. It'd be on all my email addresses. I would also find out that I have a view for the TA, so I can see what he's allowed to see. I don't have to grant him every page, so I can selectively do that. If I want to see my students' view, I can go down and say, what can the students see? And I change the view. And you notice the students no longer see all the pages. They see coursework. They don't see gradebook. They don't see attendance. So I've removed several of the pages from the students' view here, so they only see the pages that I want them to see. And that's pretty much what Context Manager does. It manages the permissions of each of the individuals in your course and what they're allowed to see within the course. So I go back to the faculty view. And again, this is Context Manager right down here underneath your list of pages, just like that.